Molly, do you want to take a start?
Because it will disprove their theory, yeah. Because I feel like a lot of parents, teachers try to make teen mom something to be scared of. You know, it's the same thing I was told. If you become a teen mom, you're not going to graduate high school, you're not going to go to college, you're going to live in the projects, you're going to be on welfare, you're never going to have a good life, you're always going to be poor, no one's going to respect you, you're never going to get, the list goes on. So I think the first step of becoming a successful teen mom is going to college. So the first thing people will try to use to discourage you is college.
How have you balanced life as a teen parent and education and work?
I'll answer that. I'm not currently a teen parent, but I still struggle with the same balance issues. But I remember, I had my first at 16 and my second at 18. And they were both in daycare, and I was in college, and I was still working full-time and going to school full-time. I remember having an issue at the daycare, and I didn't like some of the language that was being used around my children. So of course, I advocated for them, and at first I struggled with that because I felt, and when they were all emotional, I felt that I was being discredited because, she doesn't count, she's a teen mom. So I went in there and I stood up for myself and my children. And I remember walking in there and I said to them, I said, you know what, you guys see my kids more than I do. You're with my kids minimum 40 hours a week. So it's just to juggle that. I didn't see much of my kids. I had to make that sacrifice. I missed out on a lot. But I knew that me going to school was a small part of my life and their lives that would better our future. So in order to juggle it, people always say, how do you do it? How do you do it? Oh, there's something lacking. Something's being neglected. But it's a choice and a conscious decision that I made for my future and my children's future. So to say juggle, I did miss out on a lot from my kids because I did have to work to pay the bills. I didn't receive any subsidies. I did have to go to school. So my kids, they were kind of put on the back burner. And it's sad to say that, but it's a decision I'm proud of.
Yeah, I also, I went through a period where I was working 9 to 6, so I'd have to wake up early, drop my daughter off at daycare, go to work, pick her up, take her home, dinner, bath, bed, and then I'd sit in front of the computer for 3 or 4 hours doing online courses. So juggling, looking back, is really a blur. I don't even know if I slept those days. But I know how stressful it was and how hard it was for me, but I looked at it like this is just a small part of my life that's going to be stressful, but the end is going to be so much happier and so much better that I'm willing to sacrifice this time right now to improve our futures.
I've been working full-time, 2 jobs most of the time, and doing school part-time, just getting little classes out of the way, getting the main things out of the way so that when I do go full-time, it won't be as big of a burden as if it had been if I were doing all the courses. I've got almost a year out of the way, so it'll be much easier and much better.
Okay.